Hello and welcome to the Force Friday show, the weekly show from Movie Burner Entertainment, where we discuss all things Star Wars, be it canon, be it film related, be it anything relating into Star Wars. This week, to be fair to say, it's been a bit of a quiet week for Star Wars, Stephen. But we've got a couple of things to talk about anyway. So what have we got first?
Star Wars The Last Jedi home release includes a silent film version, John. Fans buying a disc or digital copy can watch a version of the movie that centres on John Williams' score. Fans of Star Wars The Last Jedi buying the movie for home use will get access to a never-before-seen version. Both digital and physical purchases will unlock access to a cut of the movie where the audio is John Williams' score only. The music-only edit was revealed by The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson on Twitter, who called it his favourite special feature. There is a catch, however. To access it, customers will have to sign up for the Movies Anywhere app, the Disney-backed digital movie aggregator, which is the exclusive home for the score-only Last Jedi. Rian Johnson also added this, John, on Twitter. He said The Last Jedi is out today in the States for digital download, Blu-ray in 2 weeks. Of all the special features, my favourite one is kinda hidden, so wanted to call it out. If you buy the movie anywhere online or in Blu-ray, you have access to a music-only version of The Last Jedi. This is the full movie, but with no dialogue, effects or backgrounds. Just John's score. I really wanted to put this out. It's really something to see John's music play with the movie like a silent film. The one hoop you have to jump through, get the Movies Anywhere app and link whatever account you bought the movie with. It's free, it works pretty painlessly, kinda a pain I know, but I think it's worth to get this version. Got to disagree, John. I could not be bothered doing all that just to see a film where no one talks.
Yes, and you know what, Stephen? I don't think we can even get access to the app over in the United Kingdom. I think it's only United States only, so according to some website I read anyway, I can't recall which one, so I can't give credit to it, sorry. It's not available in anywhere outside the United States yet, so time will tell with that one, but yeah, I mean, this is very, very interesting. I don't think I've seen a Blu-ray feature like this before. No film that I recall has ever had a silent-only version with just the score. It's very intriguing. Obviously, there's been a kind of mixed reaction to the score in this film, and it's very interesting. I'm going to get into this shortly. I know you personally weren't a massive fan of it, Stephen. Maybe that's been a bit harsh. It didn't work for you in certain parts, and that's something a lot of people have kind of agreed with, saying it was maybe a slight letdown in the new themes department. There certainly wasn't a multitude of new themes in there. I can kind of understand why that was, because there wasn't a lot of new characters deserving of their own theme. I think we got the Rose character, and that was maybe Admiral Holdo. They weren't deserving of their own themes. Rose kind of wasn't deserving to have been in the film, period. But we'll not go there. As I said, personally, I didn't really mind the score. I think we kind of touched upon this last week with the whole John Williams talk of him retiring after episode 9. There wasn't many new themes in there, but as I says, in my audio and written review, he did utilise a lot of older stuff and combine it together to create some unique things. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out in this silent version of the film.
Yeah, if you really want to go that far and do this, then fair enough. I've got to be honest, well, this must really annoy Mark Hamill, because we already saw a silent look in The Force Awakens, and now there's this app that's going to totally silence him for over 2 hours. Absolutely crazy, if you ask me. I think Rian Johnson's got too much time in his hands, if I'm being honest. Now he's not doing I don't think he's doing the trilogy. I don't think he started writing his trilogy yet, so he's just like playing about with some features on the DVD or the home release, I should say. But it's just one of those gimmicky things, I think he's personally proud of it. He wants to make sure people don't miss experiencing this. Certainly it's something that I'm not going to bother about. Just touching on what you were saying about the score, John. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those ones where it's got all your favourites in it. It's like a greatest hits compilation, of all your favourite John Williams Star Wars scores. But it's just one of those things that Rian Johnson, he's very active on Twitter. He likes to drop little nuggets in there, and it's just another Easter egg from him explaining, if this is your kind of thing, then this is how you do it. But I don't think I'm going to even bother.
Oh yeah, obviously there was a bit of backlash against J.J. Abrams and Disney after the release of The Force Awakens, Blu-ray with the extras and stuff like that, and the features were a little bit lacklustre. So maybe he's been looking at this and saying, you know what, I'll go one step further, I'll show them. I'll put these little Easter egg releases in there and see if people get on board with it. Certainly, I do wonder if this will maybe open people's eyes up to the score a little bit if they kind of go in and watch it without any of the dialogue. Maybe it'll change their mind. They might have hated it and then they decide, no, I love this score now. Now that I've seen it without any dialogue, any effects, this has made me appreciate this score more. I don't know. Certainly, I think it could only improve the Canto Bite scenes, because the dialogue in that was just utterly horrendous. Some of the worst dialogue since the prequel films. Roses, I just want to put my fist down into this beautiful town. I want to see this cut of the film just so I don't need to hear that line. And actually tying into that, I've actually thought the Canto Bite scenes had some of the best, most original music of the score. So it'd be very interesting to see that on its own. I kind of agree with you, Rose, Stephen. It's a lot of hassle just getting your hands on this. And do you really want to do it? You know what I mean? If I could understand if they just put it in the disc release, then maybe a lot of more people would have went forward and maybe gave it a bash watching it. Probably most wouldn't though, because it's kind of a niche group within a niche group, that. But yeah, I mean, the fact they've made it so convoluted and hard to get a hold of, it's not really helping the case any. But I do wonder whether that silent part in the film, maybe they can add in
that sound.
maybe they can add in a sound in place in a silent version of the film. How funny would that be? If the only silent part of the original release they add in maybe that disco version of the Star Wars theme, put that in there just as a little troll for the fans that go out their way to do this. I don't know, Stephen. Lord knows.
I just can't imagine anyone would sit down for 2 hours, 20 minutes staring at a screen where you're seeing actors' mouths move but you don't hear anything. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous, John. I'm looking forward to the home release in all seriousness. And one of the reasons for that is there has been a few droplets on YouTube with behind the scenes footage of the deleted scenes, etc. And one of the behind the scenes one I was talking to you about the other day was the scene with Luke and Leia at the very end of the film. This was seen from the perspective of the director and all the other people that work behind the cameras, and it was great just to watch them. If you want to watch, obviously, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher act, you watch the film, but it was really interesting to watch Rian Johnson's facial reactions, and Kathleen Kennedy was there as well, and you can actually see them nearly tearing up. This reminded me of J.J. Abrams' The Force Awakens, when they made this big deal of the behind the scenes footage of Han Solo stepping on the Millennium Falcon for the first time in so many years, and this was very similar. A very emotional scene in the film, but it was just interesting to see it from their perspective. And Rian Johnson had this big smile on his face. This was clearly a scene that he wanted in the film, and I'm glad they did it now. Now we know what happened, obviously, with the late Carrie Fisher. It would have been an absolute travesty if they didn't do this. It already hurts that we know that Kylo Ren and General Leia, or his mother, are not going to have any screen time now. It's very sad. Obviously, it's very sad that Carrie Fisher passed away, but in storytelling terms, it's very sad that we're not going to see the mother and son interaction in episode 9.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very touching behind-the-scenes feature. I completely agree with you, Stephen. Just that moment in the film itself, I did thoroughly enjoy that with the two of them together. It was very emotional. Lump in the throat moment, much like the Han Solo moment when he gets killed in The Force Awakens. It's just seeing the two characters back together on screen again for the first time in 30-odd years. It was very special. And you can see the close friendship they had behind the scenes, just the way they operate together and just the relationship they had. It was almost like a brother and sister relationship. It was very, very close, and it was a great moment. And I completely agree with you. You were right with Rian Johnson. I think that was probably a proud moment for him getting that scene in there. A lot of people in the rush to criticise the film, some right and some wrong, are forgetting that Rian Johnson is a Star Wars fan. He was a fan from a young boy, so he probably get immense pride out of seeing the two actors being brought together in his film. And obviously Kathleen Kennedy's been another one who's been in for much stick seeing her kind of getting a little bit emotional watching the two of them together was great. It really was. And this is why I love the behind the scenes features, because you get to see these little moments you'd otherwise not know existed. And obviously looking back in hindsight with the tragic death of Carrie Fisher, it's just great little moments seeing these two together, just knowing now that they're never going to be able to have that moment again. It's a special moment.
Yeah, I mean, the Blu-ray release in the UK is over here in a few weeks' time, John, and we will dedicate time to the release when it comes in, and we can go through all those bonus features. But you're right, I mean, this silent film thing, it's really just an Easter egg in all seriousness. You know, it's not really something that's it's going to really overshadow the rest of the bonus package with the behind the scenes stuff and the deleted scenes. There was another deleted scene that I did see. I'm trying to keep away from them because I'm waiting for the Blu-ray release, but there was another one where I think it was probably about 20-second, 30-second moment with Luke in one of those stone huts in Act 2 where he grieves for Han. It's a good scene, but they really could have put that in if they just trimmed some of the can't bite stuff. I'm not saying, you know, take the story out or anything like that, because it was interlaced within the film and within the storyline, and certainly you couldn't take out too much of it. But for a 20-30 second clip, they really could have put that in there instead of having just "Where's Han?" You know. And then I know there was a moment in the Falcon, you know, but I just felt that was one of the ones that probably they missed a chance to, you know, give Luke a bit more grief for his best friend, you know. But just moving on, John, this is one that really did intrigue me. I know you've got some more stuff that, you know, it's came about when Mark Hamill was in Dublin over the weekend or last weekend, and this is Mark Hamill's theory on what happened to Luke Skywalker. Star Wars The Last Jedi features a significant moment for Luke Skywalker at the end of the film, and Mark Hamill had shared his theory on what happened to his character during those key scenes.
Yes, he's got a very intriguing theory indeed. His theory is basically that he refuted, and I'm going to quote what he says, "I refuse to believe that he's gone. My theory is that he just teleported to somewhere else and left his robe behind." He then goes on to say, and this sums up Mark Hamill and his humour perfectly, "He teleported to a nudist colony. That's what I'm hoping." Now, he then went on to say, and I believe another article, but it kind of links into this, it may be the same thing actually, that are you just going to have a metal hand clang down on the rock? I said to Ryan, it's dramatically inert. There's nobody around to say, "Oh, what happened to you?" This just sums up the humour of the guy firstly, but the theory's kind of had me thinking, what did happen to the hand? I know there was a lot of people discussing that. Is he actually dead? It actually raises quite an interesting point and possibility here, because I do believe Ryan Johnson said shortly after the release, maybe a couple of days after, with the backlash that the film was getting, that all these plot points are open to interpretation and they can be changed. Getting into episode 9, there's a couple of things that can be changed, certainly the parentage of Rey, and he has semi-left it open for. Look, I know Rey has a moment with Leia at the end of the film where she says, "I felt him go," or something. I can't remember, I've not seen it in about a month or so now, a month and a half. But certainly, if what he's saying, it kind of does, he makes a valid point. And when he kind of becomes one with the universe, the robe falls to the ground, but the artificial hand, how can an artificial hand become one with the Force? So what the hell happened to the hand? Is he dead?
Well, as you recall, John, when Yoda appeared, you know, on the island, he had his little cane with him. He certainly didn't have that cane in his possession when he passed away in Return of the Jedi.
No.
Very much similar to Obi-Wan sitting on a log. It's really just film inconsistencies, I've got to be honest with you. I know Mark Hamill is playing with us here. You know, he's got a very warped sense of humour, very funny man. And it did open up a lot of theories, fan theories, that perhaps, you know, Luke wasn't even on that island to begin with. It was just another teleportation trick. You know, you can go on and on. I think it's people just grasping at straws. You know, it's no secret that, you know, Luke Skywalker is one of my heroes. Certainly growing up as a young boy in the late 70s, early 80s. It was everything, you know, to me. It's who I wanted to be. I didn't want to be Han Solo. I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. I think it's because I probably had the same hairstyle as him back then. But I think it's just one of those things that, Mark Hamill loves the franchise. He loves being part of it. We saw it during the promotion of the film just at Christmas time. He certainly was looking a little bit tired and worse for wear with some of the TV promotion stuff that he did over here in the UK at that point. He did look like he was, needing a well-earned rest for a man that's in his mid-60s. But also, you've got to remember that if any of those theories become true, it's really going to take away those moments from The Last Jedi, and those moments in The Last Jedi are probably the standout moments in the film. Now, if we go back, if we go forward into episode 9 and Luke was playing us all, and it was another vision on, some hologram trick that he played on Rey on the island or whatever, it really is just going to... I don't think I'll go back and watch The Last Jedi. I've got to be honest, because those moments were the key moments in the film for me, especially at the climax with Kylo Ren on Crate. I wouldn't like to see that. Certainly the moments on Act 2, his final moments on Act 2, on that rock where he's kind of meditating. It certainly would take the moment away if this was all another ploy,
Yeah, kind of what you says there about him teleporting himself from another world to another world, it kind of reminded me of that Lemmy sketch where he just keeps waking up again and again and again. It's like watch reality. Certainly, I have to state, I do believe he's dead. I mean, I think this is him maybe having a little joke at the expense of the fans who do like theorise and look into every single minute detail of a film and clutch at straws. Now, I was a Luke fan as well. Certainly, I didn't look like Luke growing up, Stephen. I was more of a Anakin Skywalker with the curly dome, but I had the blonde hair. I didn't have the blue eyes, sadly. I had the green eyes. But, he was my favourite character as well. Sad that he's dead, but he can move on in the future, going forward as a Force ghost. So I'm not too concerned. I do think he's dead. I think he's kind of having a little go at the fans who are over-theorising, and obviously they were the ones that were let down the most going into episode 8. But I completely agree as well, Stephen. At the end of the film, it would totally remove all the emotion and the poignancy from that final scene. Everything about that, whether you agree with him dying or not, was perfect with the double sunset. It kind of harkened back to Tatooine, and it was a perfect physical death for the character. So they can't go back and retcon that. If they're going to retcon anything, they certainly should retcon Rey being a nobody. I don't think they will, but they certainly should. I would love to see her being a Kenobi or a Skywalker still, but it's not going to happen. So we'll not go there. But certainly, any disagreements and dislikes he had over the direction of his character certainly not dissuaded him from wanting to come back in episode 9. That just kind of moves on to the next thing I think we're going to discuss, Stephen.
Yeah.
It just broke at the weekend when he was in Dublin celebrating St Patrick's Day. And if I didn't love Mark before that, I certainly love him now. The fact he's getting into the spirit of all the St Patrick's Day things. Go on yourself, Marky boy. But I think it was over for a kind of a honorary thing, an appearance where he was a guest at something. I can't recall what it was, but he was asked by an ABC News reporter, would you be interested in coming back for episode 9, and he replied with, who wouldn't? Listen, if you can't have fun making a Star Wars film, you have serious problems. Then he went on to further say, put in a good word for me, will you? It's all in JJ's hands. So certainly he's been vocal over the last 3 months or so about the direction of the character, and I think he's since come out and says he regretted making that public just because of the abuse that was then put onto Ryan Johnson and obviously Kathleen Kennedy as well. But it's nice to see that even though he fundamentally disagrees, as he says, about the direction of the character, that he's more than willing to come back again.
I think a lot of bridges have been built since then, John. I did see during the week there that Ryan Johnson and Mark Hamill appeared on some kind of question and answers. I think it might have been Variety that were hosting it. It was a very interesting, in-depth interview, firstly with Ryan Johnson, and Mark Hamill come on for the last 20 or so minutes, and you've got to watch this. Anybody that thinks that Mark Hamill has a gripe with Ryan Johnson or a gripe with the way the character was handled has to watch this. He explains it well. He explains that he regrets those words as well, which did put a lot of pressure on the director, and it was a very interesting interview, and it's certainly something that you should check out on YouTube. And just moving on to our third and final topic of the show, is John Boyega has revealed when filming for Star Wars Episode 9 will start. The final movie in the sequel trilogy, directed by The Force Awakens' J.J. Abrams, is set to start shooting this summer. Appearing on the BBC One's One Show, the 25-year-old said, "I don't know a thing, but I know I start filming in July. They're prepping and planning. JJ has a script, but I haven't yet read it." John did say, despite immense secrecy around the scripts, he does sometimes get to bring it back home. Star Wars Episode 9 is due to be released in cinemas on the 20th of December 2019.
Yes. Obviously, J.J. Abrams kind of let slip, didn't he? About a week or so ago that it was going to be starting in summer. Now we've got a definite date that's going to be in July. Very excited, looking forward to this film getting into production, getting the ball rolling and closing this sequel trilogy and seeing where they're going to go with it. I've been very interested in what Boyega's actually been saying on and off about a couple of different issues, but I liked the little jokey way he says that you have to go to a room where the script is. I can't lie, sometimes you get to bring it home. That was quite good, because obviously there was a lot of security measures in place with the script in previous films. I think it was in iPads and all the rest of it, and they did in slightly different coloured paper, and I don't know, it was just crazy. So certainly they're not going to be taking the whole script home. I don't think it will be certain scenes of film for the day, but he did touch upon another little thing which I found interesting, where he kind of says he disagreed with the briefiness of the Finn Phasma fight too. But certainly I'm looking forward to seeing this film getting into production, starting to get some news releasing about certain things. I know Making Star Wars and a couple of other prominent rumour websites seem to get accurate leaks and stuff like that, so the sooner it gets into production and we start getting news about what they're doing, what direction they're going with all the various different plots, the better for me, really.
Boyega reminds me of Mark Hamill in a way. He's certainly such a positive guy towards this sequel trilogy, very much the way Mark Hamill handles himself at these interviews and stuff like that. He's such a great ambassador for the franchise. I felt sorry for him, I've got to be honest. I felt sorry for him in The Last Jedi and how they handled his character. It was such a prominent figure in The Force Awakens, such a big part of the storyline, and I felt that in The Last Jedi, I know that Rian Johnson you want to focus more on the Rey and Luke relationship and the Snoke and Kylo Ren relationship, and I just felt that characters like Finn suffered for it, and it's nothing to do with Kelly Marie Tran as an actress. She's a great actress, but I also felt sorry for her as well in that whole sequence with Canto Bight. I know that I don't think anyone really does enjoy those sequences, and because Boyega was such a big part of the first film in this trilogy, I just felt he was a bit let down in the middle part of, and I really hope that he's got a bigger role to play in the final film of the trilogy. One thing that you had a bugbear coming out of The Last Jedi, I 90% enjoyed this film, but there was a part of me that felt unfulfilled, and the reason for that is, ironically, is because a lot of the things that happened in this film, to me, should have happened, normally happens in the final third film of a trilogy. I came out with yourself and Kevin, and I felt a little bit unfulfilled. The anticipation for the next episode wasn't as high as it was, and I know that the difference is The Force Awakens did end on a cliffhanger, literally, and we didn't really get that in The Last Jedi. We got Broom Boy at the end, looking into the stars. I know that that's what he's called. I don't know what the character's called officially, but I know that doing the rounds on YouTube, he's known as Broom Boy. Yeah. I hope that we're not going to go down that road, because to me personally that's uninteresting. I just like to think that that scene was just an inspiring moment, sort of making Luke's sacrifice, if you will, meaningful. But hopefully that's Broom Boy put to bed and he's back in his stable.
Well, yeah, I certainly think that was just a moment at the end of the film to show that the legend of Luke stepping up to the First Order has been passed on to the galaxy, and it's inspired a whole new generation of youth and children who are going to be the future to step up against tyranny. So I think that was just that. I don't think we're going to see him popping up. There was also a lot of speculation that he would be one of the title characters in the new Rian Johnson trilogy. Don't think it will be. I certainly don't want it to be. But I do agree about The Last Jedi. That was one of the things that I came away from the film. There was a couple of aspects of it which were unfulfilling, and that's kind of why I did fling in the comment about Finn kind of voicing his displeasure about the handling of the fight with Phasma, because that certainly was one of the aspects that was unfulfilling, just in this trilogy as a whole, not just the last film. You're right, the handling of Finn was very disappointing. I loved Finn in The Force Awakens. I thought he was one of the best things in it. Such a humorous and interesting character, and I did not like the way they went with him in The Last Jedi. That whole side plot was pointless. It could have been cut out the film, and it would have not had any impact on the plot, the main plot. And I really do want to see them improve on this character and give him something meaningful to get his teeth into, because he's a good actor. I seen him in Detroit. I thought he was brilliant in that, even though it was a smallish role. I liked him in that. And I'm so disappointed with the way they handled Phasma as well. I would have loved to have seen her be an almost Boba Fett character, although a little bit meatier, and then her having a on-off rivalry that went through the entire trilogy from start to finish with Finn, and we could have had a meaningful battle, a long battle which had more poignancy, more emotion, more meaning behind it in the final film of the trilogy. Instead we just get this short 10-second, 15-second fight, and then she's dead. And it's just like, what was the point? It just summed up Finn in a microcosm, that fight scene, his whole role in the film. It was like, what was the point? So, really disappointed. Hope we do get a meatier role for Finn going forward in episode 9. And as I says, I'm just really looking forward to this film getting into production, so we start getting little leaks and tidbits coming out. Certainly with JJ being in charge, so there's not going to be anything major getting leaked. He is the master of the mystery box thing, isn't he? So, but anything we can get our teeth into, also we want to discuss it, because this is a Star Wars show, so we want something to talk about. So, the sooner the better.
Just on John Boyega, it's hard to believe that he is only in his mid-20s, John. Yeah. I never saw Attack the Block when it came out in 2011. I know that obviously when The Force Awakens came to the forefront, his name was more of a household name, and a lot of interviewers did reference Attack the Block. The first film I actually saw him in was Imperial Dreams, and this was nothing to do with the character of Finn, by the way. This was, it was an independent film on Netflix. It was a very good film for the budget it had, and he played a character called Bambi. I do urge you to go and see that if you're a Boyega fan. I actually forgot that he did appear in the film The Circle in 2017 with Emma Watson and Tom Hanks. A slightly smaller role than that, but he's just such a likeable guy, especially round about the time The Force Awakens was getting promoted. He was like a big kid, in a lot of his interviews, and there's also a reaction video from him and Daisy Ridley when they first saw the trailer for The Force Awakens, which is still probably my favourite trailer that's ever been released. Not just Star Wars, but any movie trailer. And it was just, his reactions to that was unbelievable. I think it was filmed on one of his family's iPhones or something like that, in a living room, where he kind of does this flip right behind the couch, and it reminded me of Alan Partridge when he fell back over his sofa. It was like that, he was just a big kid. He was jumping up and down. All his family were absolutely loving it. He's just a very down-to-earth guy, doesn't forget his roots, and even after the euphoria of The Force Awakens, doesn't seem to have went to his head.
Oh, and he's actually, just tying back into Mark Hamill briefly, final thing I'll say on it, Stephen, he's got a great relationship with Mark Hamill as well. Don't know if you've seen the recent thing on Twitter with his birthday, with him, Mark Hamill wishing him a happy birthday and kind of saying, playing with a word, I can't remember the exact word, but he gets son in there, and Boyega replied with dad or something like that. There was some play, I can't, I'm paraphrasing slightly here, but just showed the great relationship they two share with each other. And yeah, you're right, he's completely down to earth. He's a great chap from what I see. Very extroverted and bubbly and in your face, and I just hope he gets a bigger role going forward. But that is us reached the end of the Force Friday show for this week. We just want to thank you for listening once again. and we'll be back next week for another show. Remember guys, if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, then do subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes and Google Play, whilst also giving us a little follow on Facebook at Movie Burner Entertainment and on Twitter at Movie Burners. You can also catch up with all the latest reviews we're putting out on the Movie Burner blog at movieburnerentertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.